Liam Lawson, the Red Bull driver who has been talked about widely across the grid, likely won't get a seat in 2025. Although he has been touted for a possible V Cup seat and even going directly to Red Bull, this likely isn't going to happen, and here's why. With Perez and Daniel staying on for 2024 and potentially 2025, it looks like there's no other easy seat for him to get. This is because of how competitive 2025's lineup is going to be, and also because his contract only allows for him to talk to other teams starting in September. By then, most seats will already be gone. Currently, this is the 2024 lineup, and four drivers are still without a seat. Bottas, Zoe, Logan Sargent, Kevin Magnussen. All four of them don't have a seat. That's because Ollie Bearman has come up, and there's only three seats remaining. And right now, those are Alpine, State, and also Mercedes. But the issue is that for Alpine, they're actually looking at replacing Ocon with one of their own drivers from their own driver academy. Same for Mercedes. So what we might see happen is potentially have four drivers fighting for the remaining Audi seat. The reason for this is Mercedes probably want Kimi Antonelli to replace Hamilton, and he looks to be doing quite well now. They've gotten special dispensation from the FIA to allow him to basically be able to replace Hamilton if necessary. Uh, Alpine are looking at their own internal team to actually get a new driver to possibly replace Ocon. And actually, for Alpine, there's not been an Alpine academy driver that has filled an Alpine seat for almost a decade. The last driver was actually Palmer, who was ultimately replaced by Carlos Sainz. So it was Palmer, Carlos, then it was Nico, who was replaced by Ocon. Then it was Alonso, and it was supposed to be Piastri. So Piastri was the most recent Alpine Academy driver that was supposed to drive for Alpine, but he ultimately went with McLaren when Alpine messed up his contract. So right now, since it's been almost 10 years since Alpine have had one of their own academy drivers drive for Alpine right after they come into F1, they're going to need to put someone in that seat if they want to encourage future popular talent to sign up to Alpine as well. For fear, or else, people are going to wonder, hey, if I sign up for Alpine, will I eventually get a seat? Which might prompt them to go to Mercedes, go to Red Bull or Ferrari driver academy instead. So, Alpine probably want to promote their own reserve driver, and same for Mercedes. So that really leaves one seat left, Audi, which has leaned towards Bottas a bit. He's a multiple race winner, winning 10, and Stake's current driver academy doesn't really exist, so they don't really have anyone in the lineup to promote. And they did lose out on getting Carlos Sainz. So that's just one of the reasons why I think he's unlikely to get a seat, because it's a very competitive 2025 is going to be a very competitive year to get a seat. It's looking right now that possibly he's going to have to face off with four other drivers looking to get a seat, with how Alpine and Mercedes, the other remaining two seats, want to take drivers from their own driver academy. So yeah, it's going to be tough for him. And another thing to consider also is that he isn't able to find his next seat until September. So already just the, already just a few days ago, we had Sainz move to Williams, replacing Sargent. So we will likely see all these lineups finalized within the next few days of August, most likely during the summer break. So by the time he's able to go out and speak to other people, which as the contract stated and as we've heard about is September, likely all these seats will probably already be filled since they want to snatch up better drivers and also other drivers would also want them. So likely what's going to happen to Liam Lawson is unfortunately he's most likely going to wait until 2026 to get a possible drive, and he's likely going to stay with Red Bull because they out of the rest, they have four potential drivers that they can replace, two of which right now are not performing very well, that being Perez and Ricardo. So potentially, maybe if they don't do well in 2025, he still can have a shot to replace them. So I think he unfortunately isn't going to get a seat for 2025, and he's going to be staying with Red Bull most likely because that's his best chance to find a seat. Four seats available, maybe hope Verstappen or Sonoda find a seat elsewhere in 2026, 2025. That's possible. Or Perez and Ricardo don't perform well enough and get dropped by the team. So that's what I think is going to unfortunately have to happen for him to get a seat.